Okay, good afternoon everybody. I'm Jeremy Heaney today, and we're going to show you how to create the voice of Otto from Wall-E. It's a very easy thing to do. All you need is a Mac and the application called Repeat After Me, which you can get pretty much, I think you can find it on Apple's website. It's a developer application. Comes bundled with Xcode if you have Xcode. So we're going to just go ahead and navigate to that. It will be in your developer folder under applications and under utilities, under speech, and then repeat after me. So you're going to open up repeat after me. So repeat after me is opened up now, and let's say we want to make it, we want Otto to say, so let's say we want specimen 1 returned positive. If you say this normally with the default system voice, it's going to sound like this.
Specimen 1 returned positive.
But what we want to do is change the system voice to match what Otto's is. So Otto's voice in Wall-E is actually Ralph. So we're going to change the system voice to Ralph, and we are going to relaunch Repeat After Me, because if you don't relaunch it, it's still going to be under Alex. So when we want to graph this, and then we're going to say it again.
Specimen 1 returned positive.
And it says it like that. Now, in order to make it sound more like what Otto sounds like, we need to change the pitch of this. The easiest way to do this is to create, if we go into Audacity, Audacity is a free application that you can download off of the internet. But what you do is you open Audacity, and we're going to generate a tone of 50 Hertz. And we only want it to be about 4 seconds long. So we're going to change that to 4 seconds. Doesn't matter what the amplitude is. Now this is the 50 Hertz file. We're going to export this. You want to make sure when you export this file that it is exported as an AIFF file, an Apple uncompressed format. Make sure it is 16-bit PCM as well, and just name it something like 50hertz.aiff and save that. So now that that's saved, we're going to leave Audacity open because we're going to use it later. So in Repeat After Me, we're going to attach sound, and we're going to go to where we saved the 50 Hertz file, which is here. So we're going to attach the file, and we're going to extract the pitch. Now when we click extract pitch, it's going to make the pitch all appear at 400 Hertz, which is not what we want, but it's okay because we can easily change that later. So now what we're going to do is impose the pitch. So when we impose the pitch here, it's going to make every pitch at 400 Hertz. So now when we play it,
Specimen 1 returned positive.
it's kind of what we want in terms of having all of the pitches the same. So now what we're going to do is click Tune at the top. And what that does is it outputs the code of what the speech synthesizer uses to create speech using a particular voice. So since these are all 400 besides the first one, we're going to change this one to 400 as well. So now we're going to copy this, and we're going to go into text edit here, and once we are in text edit, we're going to paste this code, and we're going to use the find command, and we're going to say 400 because all of these pitches are 400 hertz. And now we're going to replace that with 50 hertz. And we're going to do all. So now all of the 400s are replaced with 50s. So now we can copy this again, erase the code here, paste it, and then click Build Graph up here. When we click Build Graph, you notice all the phonemes are going to show 50 hertz. So now when we play it,
Specimen 1 returns positive.
it's more like what auto should sound like. So now what we want to do is we want to export this as a sound file. Technically now you are done. You don't have to continue this unless you want to export it as a sound file. Now what I like to do is I have Logic Pro on my Mac as well. So I like to take this sound file and enhance it a little bit with some reverb and some equalization to make it sound better. So we can open up Terminal here and we use the say command. So to do that, we're going to type in say, put open quotes, paste the input file, or paste the code for the speech synthesis, close the input file, type -v and put Ralph, but also type -o, and then for the output file we'll just say auto_4.aiff, and then you're going to press enter. So what that does is it takes what we just did and it puts it as an audio file. So now if we go into the root user folder, which is where the terminal launches, you will see in here that auto4.aiff is what we just created.
Specimen 1 returns positive.
So now what we can do with that is we can open up Logic Pro. And for those who do not have Logic Pro, you can just leave it like this. You're pretty much done. But if you do have Logic Pro, what I like to do, or you can even do this in GarageBand, I assume, is after you have this file, you can go ahead and you can, we'll skip that, you can go ahead and input the file into Logic. So we have this file, we're just going to import it now into Logic. And all I have for my channel equalizer in Logic, I have it boosted at 49.5 Hertz at 21 decibels. And that's all I have for that. For my silver verb, which is reverb, I have it set to 13% mix with default parameters with a slightly smaller room size. You can change this to whatever you want to max it out, or to create more reverb if you want to. And then I also have pitch correction enabled, which is pretty much useless. You don't need to have this in. It doesn't really alter the sound at all. Excuse me, but I have it enabled anyway with the A sharp, and B keys clicked in, the range set to low, the bypass of the last two bypass buttons, and the response set to 0 milliseconds. So when you do that, you can go ahead and play that, and what that does is it will make it sound different. You probably won't be able to tell from here, but I will import it in the final version.
Specimen 1 returns positive.
And that sounds better than what the original file is. This is just miscellaneous stuff. You don't have to do this, but I'm doing this anyway, just to spice it up a bit. So now we're gonna export, or you can bounce it too. Let's bounce it. We're gonna bounce it into bounces. Let's just make this second file here. We're going to have it as an AIFF file again. So it's going to bounce that. And after it bounces that, we're going to go back into Audacity. We're going to go into the Finder. We're going to go to where Logic bounced that file, which is in your bounces. And you're going to go here, and you're going to drag this file into Logic Pro. Now all we're going to do here is we're going to amplify it. We're going to amplify this file so it's at 0 decibels, so that it's as loud as it can be without clipping. So now when we hear it,
Specimen 1 returns positive.
that's what it has. That's what it's going to do for Logic. And then now what we can do with this is we can export this into the file. You can see I've already made some other auto files. And you can go ahead and just name it that and save it there. So then your final output here is going to be what we had before. So this was the original sound output. This is the original sound output here.
Specimen 1 returns positive.
And if we go to the sound bite that we just created, you will hear that it is different.
Specimen 1 returns positive.
So this is just a little tutorial of how to make your Mac sound more like Otto from Wall-E. If you're interested, I'm Jeremy Heaney, and thanks for watching.